Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, not in some distant sci-fi movie, but in your own home. The paint on your wall heals a crack overnight. Your kitchen counter senses what ingredients you set down and suggests meals, while a voice, calm, familiar, not quite human, guides you through your day. You pour your coffee into a cup that adjusts its temperature to keep it just the way you like it. Never too hot, never cold. None of that is fantasy. These inventions exist. Some of them are in labs, some already trickling into the market, and by the time the future really sets in, they'll be as normal to us as flipping a light switch. That's the part most people miss. The shock isn't only that these technologies exist, it's how fast the extraordinary becomes ordinary. Think about your phone. 20 years ago, the idea that you could hold a world's library, a GPS, a movie studio, and a bank account in your pocket would have sounded insane. Today, it's not insane, it's expected. You feel annoyed when the Wi-Fi cuts out, as if the universe owes you seamless global connection at all times. That's how quickly wonder becomes entitlement. The everyday miracles of tomorrow are going to reshape our relationship with effort, with comfort, with time itself. Self-healing materials mean your shoes repair themselves. Your car's surface mends a scratch overnight. Adaptive clothing shifts with your body temperature, so you never feel too hot or too cold. Smart kitchens don't just cook faster. They eliminate the need for you to measure, to chop, to clean. You speak, they act, and once you get used to that, the old way will feel prehistoric. But here's the thing, every convenience comes with a question. If your environment is taking care of everything for you, if technology is anticipating your every need, what do you do with the time and effort you've just been freed from? Do you fill it with purpose, or do you waste it scrolling through the noise? Because convenience without consciousness can make us lazy, the very tools that give us freedom can also dull our edge. See, effort isn't just a burden, it's what gives life its texture. When you've worked hard for something, you appreciate it differently. When you've struggled through the process, you come out stronger. And while these futuristic inventions will strip away certain struggles, they can't strip away the need for meaning. That part is on us. We'll have to choose to use the freedom they give us for growth, for connection, for creativity, instead of just sinking deeper into distraction. And yet, don't mistake this as nostalgia for the good old days. Progress is a gift. Self-healing buildings mean fewer resources wasted. Adaptive clothing means comfort for the elderly or sick. Smart kitchens could help feed the hungry, reduce waste, save lives. These aren't just toys for the privileged. They hold the potential to reshape society. But potential doesn't fulfill itself. It requires direction. That's where human responsibility comes in. Because every time we invent something new, we also invent a new responsibility for ourselves. We have to ask not just what can this do, but what will we do with it? And that's where effectiveness, wisdom, and values come into play. Without them, even the greatest inventions risk becoming empty novelties, things that entertain us for a season and then fade, leaving us unchanged. But if we approach these everyday miracles with intention, if we use them as tools to expand rather than escape, then they can elevate us. They can give us back hours of our lives, hours we can reinvest in the things machines will never touch. Love, laughter, wonder, creativity, faith. That's the opportunity, that's the responsibility. So when you hear about these inventions, walls that heal, clothes that adapt, kitchens that cook, homes that think, don't just marvel at them. Ask yourself, what kind of person will I be when my environment is working harder than I am? Because that's the real test. The future doesn't just hand us better toys. It hands us bigger choices. And here's the closing line I want you to carry with you. The inventions of tomorrow can make life easier, but only you can make life meaningful. When we talk about the future, the question that hangs in the air isn't just about what machines can do, it's about what humans will become. For centuries, we've lived under the assumption that our bodies, our biology, our natural limits were the final boundaries. You can only run so fast, heal so quickly, remember so much. But right now, at this very moment, There are inventions being tested that are rewriting the rules of what it means to be human. Exoskeleton suits already exist that allow someone who's paralyzed to stand up and walk again. Neural implants are giving people with severe memory loss a second chance to remember names, faces, moments they thought were gone forever. Prosthetic limbs, once stiff and mechanical, are now wired to the nervous system, moving with the grace of thought itself. That's not science fiction. It's happening. And if that's happening now, imagine where we'll be in 30 years. Imagine a future where technology doesn't just fix what's broken, but enhances what already works. A soldier running miles without fatigue, an elderly person whose muscles feel young again, a student downloading languages straight into their mind in weeks instead of years. These inventions won't just restore, they'll amplify. And when that line gets crossed, when the difference between recovery and enhancement blurs, the question shifts from can we to should we? Because let's be honest, there's a shadow side here. We're not just talking about healing anymore, we're talking about redesigning, about upgrading the human experience itself. And if history teaches us anything, it's that the moment something is possible, someone will use it. Not tomorrow, not in 50 years, but today. Once an invention exists, it can't be uninvented. So, the real challenge isn't the tech, it's the ethics. What happens when enhancement becomes the new normal? If the wealthy can buy stronger bodies, sharper minds, longer lives, where does that leave the rest of us? Will the gap between people widen until we're not just divided by money or status, but by biology itself? That's why we need to pause here, not to resist innovation, but to face it with wisdom. Because there's a deeper layer under all this. What truly makes us human isn't how fast we run or how much we remember. It's not even how long we live. What makes us human is the story behind the struggle, the meaning we pull from limitation, the courage it takes to face mortality head on. If we erase all our limits, if we chase invincibility, we risk losing the very friction that shapes our character. But maybe, just maybe, these inventions aren't here to strip away our humanity. They're here to expand it. To give us the chance to spend less time bound by weakness and more time exploring what really matters. A paralyzed person walking again isn't just science, it's dignity. A child born with no hearing, given the gift of sound, isn't just biology, it's belonging. A mind once fading into silence, remembering again, its love restored. So the question becomes, not will these inventions change us? Because they will. The question is, how will we choose to change with them? Will we let them make us arrogant, chasing upgrades like trophies? Or will we let them humble us, reminding us that with every new ability comes a deeper responsibility? Because if we treat these inventions as shortcuts, as ways to escape effort, we'll miss the point. But if we treat them as tools that help us step further into who we already are, then we've got something powerful. Technology may expand our reach, but only we decide where to reach. So let's not be afraid of redefining human limits. Let's be aware, let's be intentional. Let's recognize that the real miracle isn't in the machine. It's in the choice we make once we have it. And here's the closing line I'll leave you with. We may invent ways to stretch the boundaries of being human, but the true test of the future is whether we still choose to live with humanity.